Welcome to the Diversity Connector podcast, where we explore the rich tapestry of human experiences. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the country on which we meet today. I would also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging, and together as we dive into conversations that bridge cultures, challenge stereotypes, and celebrate the unique perspectives each of us brings to the table. Each episode is a journey through stories and insights from a kaleidoscope of voices, each sharing their colorful narrative. Whether you're at home, on the go, or just anywhere in between, you're now part of a community that values understanding, inclusivity, and the beauty of diversity. So plug in your headphones, get comfortable, and let's connect through the power of our shared stories. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Diversity Connector podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Diversity Connector. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating entrepreneur. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Etienne Gillard and thank you for having me today with you. I'm born in Belgium and I am currently living in Miami. So I wanted to be an entrepreneur basically from the very, very beginning of my early years. I remember I was going at school, at a high school, walking from my parents' home from time to time to the school and thinking about, well, when I will finish my study, I want to have a business and then another business and then really help changing the world. So after my studies and actually during my studies, when I was at the final years of junior and senior high school, I started my first business just because I wanted to have nice shoes. So I thought, well, those shoes are English shoes and super expensive. And what if I buy a big bunch of shoes and then I resell them, and of course I will make some money and I will be able to keep the nice shoes for me. You know? I did that and I realized how tough it is to sell shoes one by one. You know? It's people are saying, hey, I want another color, I want another size, I want a different shape or whatever. So then I stopped doing that. And when I started college and the university, I studied law and political science. And I didn't like the parties I had with my friends at the college, and I thought, well, I'm going to do my own party. So with a friend, we launched a event company, and we had our own events with the way we wanted it to be, and we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, and there I realized that at night it's very difficult to meet the right person. No, it's very not the best place. At night you don't meet the best of us. No, then after my study, when I finished my degree, and I decided that I wanted to go to learn and improve my English and my Spanish and my German. So from Belgium, I moved to Austria, where I improved my German, which I lost since then because I've not been speaking German for the last 25 years. And then after being there in Austria, working for a car maker, a French car maker called Peugeot, I had an amazing time there. I loved it. And I asked them to send me to Spain because I wanted to learn Spanish. So my idea was to spend 10 months in Spain. But I loved it so much. I had so much fun. Madrid is an amazing city. You should go to Madrid if you don't know it. It's really an amazing city. And I enjoyed it so much that after 10 months, I decided to stay a little bit longer. And I was living in a house with a couple of friends, and I said to one of them, look, I want to have a business here. I want to launch a business. And we thought, okay, but what kind of business? And I said, well, I don't know. But that friend told me, hey, if you launch a business, I will be the co-founder with you and I will help you with that. So after a few weeks or months, we end up with the idea of online. At that time, it was 95, by the way. So it was not online. So it was more, it was over the phone, languages over the phone, to have one-to-one teacher having classes for executive people over the phone. And we started that in 96, April 96. That company is still alive. It's still making money, and it's not anymore over the phone, of course. It's with webinars and with Zoom and WebEx and Google Meet and Microsoft Teams, and it's called Go for Languages. And we have teachers all over the world and students mostly in Europe. And so I have been running that company. And when I turned 40 years old, at that time I was married with my wife, and still the same wife today. And we have two amazing girls, which is the best thing I ever done in my life. I'm so proud of them. And I told my wife, look, that's it. No, we have a nice job. She was working in a top bank in Spain and with a very nice position. And on my side, I had a business and plenty of friends and having fun and living in a very nice neighborhood in a very nice house. And I said, well, that's okay. That's it. No, the next 40 years are going to be the exact same replica of this. And she said, what do you want to do? I mean, we should go, we should travel. The world is very big. And okay, what do you want to go? Well, I think that we should go in a better place than Spain, which is going to be, she said, okay, good luck with that. So, and I said, well, we want a place where English is the first language, because we wanted our daughters to speak perfect English. We want to be a first world country, because we want to have opportunities, business of opportunities. We want it to be not too far away from Spain. And we want it to be a sunny place. No, when you live in Madrid, which is such an amazing blue sky all year long, you don't want to go in a gray sky somewhere else. So we thought about Australia, and we loved it. We visited Australia and we loved it, but it's too far away. We thought about London, but the weather, it's not so nice. Where California, amazing, but too far away. Canada and New England, the weather, it's not so nice, and so on and so on. And at the end of the day, we said, well, Miami should be nice. We have friends over there at that time, and we still have those friends. And it's the US, the gateway to the Americas. People speak Spanish over there, so it's a very easy move. And actually moving from Madrid to Miami, it has been extremely easy, because we have kind of just move the furniture and move our family, but we really found here in Miami a very similar mindset, a way of life. We live on an island, very nice island called Key Biscayne. It's an amazing place where I have plenty of Spaniards, Argentinians, Colombians, Venezuelans, and Americans. And next to the beach, really a wonderful place for living, and with Miami offering us plenty of opportunities. So when I moved here, first I thought about opening the US branch of the language school we have in Spain. I realized that the market was not there. It was a totally different game. It didn't make a lot of sense. And then I had the opportunity to learn about M-Pesa in Africa, which is the mother or the grandmother of all the fintechs companies in the world. And it's nice to say that fintech has been invented in Africa and then spread out worldwide. And we decided, okay, let's do a M-Pesa for the US, for the Hispanics, Latinos in the US. So I launched that with thanks to investors. And I spent 5 or 6 years of my life trying to make that happen. So we raised up to a total of $2 million. So pitching like crazy to all the pitch contests, pitch events you can imagine, winning a few of them, building a very nice solution with an amazing user experience, putting together all the players you need at that time to put together to have a fintech company it was the idea, it was to replicate the services of a check cashing store. So in the US, 20% of the population doesn't go to the bank because the banking system doesn't give them the services they need. They need to cash their checks right away. They cannot deposit the check on Friday and wait for the money on Monday. So they need the money right away. And then they need to pay their bills, to send money abroad, and if they need more money, they need to apply for a loan. This is extremely expensive. This is quite unsafe and time consuming. So we did an app that is replicating all those services, but from a phone. Very similar to the mindset of the M-Pesa in Kenya, no? And so the app was a total success in the sense that it works, offered all those services, and we got some customers and 100,000 downloads, 35,000 people opened an account, and a few thousand started using it. But we realized that since it's all about trust. Fintech, financial solutions are all about trust. Do you trust that company or not? And we knew that from the very beginning that the biggest opposition we were going to have from our potential users were will they trust us? And after 5 or 6 years trying to do our best to convince people to use it, the conclusion was, well, it's impossible. They don't even want to try. You can have the best user experience in the world. If your potential users don't want to try, it was impossible. So, and just to give you a sense, one of the best users was called Jose, living in Texas, and I called him saying, hey, I'm the founder of Walleteros, was the name of the company, and I would like to thank you for being one of the best users, and I would like to have your feedback. And I love it. It's amazing. It's cheaper, safer, more convenient. Really, that's amazing. And I said, okay, wow, wonderful. And do you talk about this to your friends and family? And yeah, of course, to all of them. Ah, wow, cool. And what do they say? That I'm a fool, that you're going to trick me. And no one wanted to try. So even our best users were not able to convince others to try. So at the end of the day, the company, we shut down the company. Of course, it's a long story, but because the cost of acquisition of a customer was higher than the lifetime value. Then I started working for the incubator that incubated my startup because they loved the way we worked with the team, with the customers, and everything we did. So I started working there. I proposed many things there, but at the end, they decided not to go that way, and they said, okay, no problem. I had other opportunities, so I switched. I started helping a group of investors in Spain that wanted to launch a fund in Latin America, a fintech fund in Latin America, and based on my expertise and experience with fintech for Latinos, for Hispanics in the US, but I started raising money for them, and then life is so that I got the opportunity to be introduced to Moshe Mana group and Moshe Mana himself. Moshe Mana is an entrepreneur from Israel. He moved from Tel Aviv to New York 40 years ago, and he has been extremely successful. And I've been invited by one of his very close team member, to join the team as head of ventures. And so just to let you know about Moshe Mana, so as I said, he moved from Tel Aviv to New York 40 years ago, extremely successful, and he ended up being a real estate mogul. So he's not the typical real estate guy that is buying land, building and selling. What he does is transforming whole neighborhoods. And he has been transforming the Meatpacking District in New York, the New Jersey City, the Mana Contemporary, in Chicago Pilsen neighborhood, in Miami Wynwood. Anyone who has been in Miami knows Wynwood. It's a really an amazing transformation. And before COVID, Moshe Mana started buying properties in downtown Miami to transform downtown Miami and what he calls the Silicon Valley of the Americas. And Manatech, where I am now, is the team in charge of executing that vision. And we divided the company in 4 different circles or activities, initiatives, programs, events, spaces, and ventures. So programs, we have programs adapted to the need of the startups that are interested in the US market in general and the Miami ecosystem in particular. And we also, so we have acceleration program, incubation program, market fit, market entry, immersion weeks. We have events, we host events, and also we facilitate space for free in downtown Miami for any company willing to launch an event or to organize an event for entrepreneurship in downtown Miami. Then we have those 80 properties that Moshe Mana bought in downtown Miami to transform downtown Miami in that international hub, positioning Miami as the third hub in the US. You have San Francisco, New York, and Miami, with the good news that Miami not only give you direct access to the US, but also to Latin America, and in total 1.1 billion population. No? And then I am the head of ventures. I am going to launch funds that are going to help the integration of the fragmented ecosystems in Latin America.
What a fascinating journey you've been on. My goodness.
Thank you.
Your range of skills are so diverse. This is just absolutely incredible. So how have your multicultural experiences shaped your perspective on diversity in the entrepreneurial world?
Well, in many ways, and in quite opposite ways also, because, of course, having the opportunity, so I'm born in one country, lived in another, now for the last 11 years in Miami, so 18 years in Spain, 11 in Miami. And Miami is totally open to Latin America, so a lot of contact with Colombians, Venezuelans, Argentinians, Chileans, Brazilians, all those countries. So really get to know the differences between all those countries. First, you realize that we are all the same, all very different. So that's for sure. And the way we speak, the way we understand the problems might be very different. But on the other hand, I have been a mentor for many companies in the US, in Latin America, in Europe, in Central Asia, in Kyrgyzstan, for instance. And I've been always so impressed by the fact that the problems that entrepreneurs are facing anywhere in the world are the exact same problems. And the red flags are the exact same red flags. They repeat the same mistakes. They really don't look at what they have to look at, and they are blind by their ideas. They are everywhere. There is no difference. It can be from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, from the US. Is the exact same problem.
So with the increasing importance of diversity and inclusion in the business world, what challenges have you faced and how have you navigated them?
I mean, if you have an open mind and you understand that your way of thinking is not the only one valid, it's not so difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to select on your team smart people. and they can be everywhere, and then it's totally independent of their background. You need people that are good at executing things. Same, doesn't depend on your origin. You need people that are nice people. Why? Because when there is a problem, you don't want to deal with people that are not nice. You want to have people that are eager to learn, because if they don't want to learn, they think they know everything, it's going to be a big problem. And you want them to be experts and adding value to your team. And all those things that what you have to think about every time you meet someone, and you want to convince that person to come to your team and to start working with you. None of them are, does he have the same mindset, or does he have the same point of view? No, it's those 5 questions you have to ask yourself are not about culture, are about personality. And so if you have having different culture and backgrounds, it's always positive. The questions are better. The answers are more powerful and colorful. So
I love that. So can you share a specific experience where embracing diversity led to an unexpected positive outcome in one of your ventures?
What I'm doing now for Manateket as a head of ventures is something that when I'm pitching this, and I'm not been pitching what I'm doing, I'm pitching so far Manatek, but is the result of the conversation I had with 80 venture capital funds in Latin America, from Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Mexico. And I put inside the pitch all the feedback I got from all those different countries, mindset, visions. And now it looks like it's a very compelling story that brings value to 80 or 90% of the people I'm pitching, just because instead of trying to convince the other that I'm right, I was always asking, please tell me the truth. What do you think? Where am I wrong? What can I improve? And at the end of the day, doing so, getting the feedback from people that really want to help you, you can put together something that more, I'm not going to say universal, because what I'm doing is not for the universe, it's just for Latin America. But even if we have in Latin America 32 countries with very different mentalities and mindsets, I managed to, and we managed at Manatek to do something that is equally well received everywhere in those countries.
Oh, that is fantastic. Now, how do you ensure inclusivity in your investments and ventures, especially in sectors historically lacking in representation? You know my story. I am a Black woman from Zimbabwe launching her first tech startup. I have so many things against me right now. I'm female, I'm Black, I'm in technology, I'm 56 years old. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for us, really, and it's not an easy thing to do, because, of course, we want to have, when we do a program with 16 companies, I would love to say we have 8 women founders, 8 men founders, and Black, white, yellow. I don't care. When we don't care about that. But the problem is that at the end of the day, we have 14 white guys and 2 women, and that's it. I mean, not because we are selecting them like that. It's just because historically, those kind of profile had more opportunities, had access to the first check, for instance, for entrepreneurs. And that's something we want to do down the road, is we want to have a fund that, not the one I'm working right now on, that's a different one, but the second one, because we are always thinking the next thing, is having a fund that is going to invest in 20 first-time VC managers, men and women, of course, in Latin America, that have no contacts, but have the mindset of an entrepreneur, as a very expert in their field, and we are going to give them money so they can invest in their friends. And those friends are going to be also men and women, engineers, working in companies that don't have the contact, the typical contact that normally you need when you want to raise money, the first check. But the idea is to help 600 companies to raise their first check. And we are just going to look at the quality of the entrepreneur, man or woman, and not about who do you know, where do you come from, and of course the color of your skin, of your gender. We don't care about that, but we will make sure that we will have some minimum everywhere, because but also, we do this to help, and we want them to be successful, because if they are not successful, they are not going. The way our impact is going to be null at the end of the day. No? So it's always that balance between we want to be successful and we want to have impact. So
I love that.
And that's the tricky thing,
Yeah. So as a mentor, how do you guide Latino entrepreneurs to leverage their unique cultural perspective in scaling their businesses?
Well, if they are entrepreneurs coming from one country and trying to have their venture in another country, then it's all about opening their mindset to that new country. Okay, that's the best way. I mean, if they have never been traveling and never been living in a different country, it happens for anyone. It's just if you are Latino or from Belgium like myself, or from the US or whatever. If you don't travel, it's very difficult to realize that others have a different way of thinking. Just the language frame your thinking. I mean, German people are like this because the language is like this, So,
that's so true.
And so the way I like to do mentoring is trying to ask the right questions, no? And not accepting, not convincing answers. If I ask something and the answer doesn't look like to me very convincing, I say, no, please, I don't buy that. Please rephrase your answer, rethink it. Best. And once I had a young entrepreneur willing to launch a business in the US from Latin America, and he was telling me about the problem he was trying to solve, and I was telling him, no, the problem you are talking about doesn't exist. I mean, and the solution you propose already exists, so doesn't make sense. And the fact that I was not accepting his idea, he was very offended. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm doing my job here. I mean, I'm not. I can tell you, oh yeah, great, amazing, go for it. Yeah, you're going to make it. No, if I think that you are not going to make it, doesn't mean that I'm right. It's just if you tell me that you are going to do A, and A already exists, you have to explain me why your A is better than
the difference. Yes. What is your point of difference? So what advice would you give a young, diverse entrepreneur facing challenges that are related to their backgrounds or their identities?
So I have this, there is a definition I love about entrepreneurship, is the capacity to manage uncertainty. Okay. And that story about the one day success or one overnight success, it's one overnight after 10 years of hard work and that story also about the two friends meeting each other, and one of them saying, hey, what do you do? Well, no, I launched my business. Oh, amazing. Wow. And how is it? Oh, it's okay. It's tough. It's okay. You sleep well. Oh, yes, I sleep like a baby. Oh, amazing. No, you don't get that. No, I'm sleeping like a baby. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I start crying, So, because it's so difficult, so hard. Really. So make sure that you are surrounded by people that are there to help you. They are going to have your back when you are going to go down, because you are going to go down at some point. But that's not a problem. You just have to stand up back. Okay, that's not. And work hard, eat well. okay? And work out, because your body is super important. Eat well and practice your mind, because that's very important. And eat well and practice your spirit, because you will need some of that will fail you. Either your spirit, either your mind, or either your
Physical
body.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and if
They
you
say that your health is your wealth.
Yeah, exactly. So if you and another sentence like this, your mindset is your future, and I love that word
Mm,
too, really, because so if you want to make it, and if you want to launch a business, first of all, it's possible. There is no doubt about that. But maybe you are in love with your idea, and it's not such a good idea. And make sure that
yes.
to start with a problem. Don't look at an idea. Idea is worth nothing. It's all about solving a problem.
Solving
So make sure
problems.
that you find a problem. That problem is affecting a lot of people. That problem is so big that if you find an amazing solution, those people will change their habit to start using yours and are ready to pay somehow that solution. Then, when
Oh,
you have that solution, make sure that that solution is so good that people will willing to use it. Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
from there you can execute. But don't fall in love with your idea. That's the
Mm.
worst you can do.
So, what has been the most rewarding aspects of mentoring Latino entrepreneurs, and what have you learned from them?
I mean, family is super important to them. Uh, they love their country. Uh, they uh, and once again, I mean, they are so similar to entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs. I mean, they are, and there is talent in Latin America. Anyone who thinks there is no talent is totally wrong. You have plenty of talent. People ready to work hard. They just need most of the time to get that mindset about what is it about to be an entrepreneur, how is it to raise money, what are the red flags that an investor will say no thank you, where they have to go to pitch and to make sure that they are going to be listened to. So it's really it's a journey. Yeah, and you have to go through that journey if you want to make it. And it's hard work all day long, and you must be obsessed by that, and then maybe you will make it. And if you don't make it, try again, because the next time it will be the good one.
A successful one. So, my second to last question for you is, in the context of globalized business and increasingly diverse teams, what's the one piece of advice you would share with the next generation of multicultural entrepreneurs?
You are going to live in an amazing world where from your home you can do anything. Really, it's you can be in a small village in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia. You just need a laptop or a computer that works more or less, a connection to internet, and you can have access to all the knowledge of the world. You can learn. I mean, I've been using lately the no-code solution to build platform online at for very little money. You can start learning that and start offering services online. Test. It costs nothing. You can do so many things with no money today, just because you have access to all the information you need. Money is not the problem, should not be the problem. It's all about
Yes.
the mindset, the understanding that you don't have to wait for the others to bring the solution. You are the in charge of your future. And of course, it's going to be tough. I'm not saying they're going to be easy. Not at all.
Yes.
It's not easy. But as I said, the overnight success is a 10-year journey. So
So give us some examples of the no coding platforms people can look at A lot of my community are entrepreneurs. They're looking for solutions. Give us some examples.
Yeah, the one I use is bubble.io. So I have no shares in bubble.io. I have no, I don't, this is free advertising, but, and there might be others, but bubble.io works perfectly. Yeah, you have a very, you can build a very amazing solution with up to, and you can maintain this until you have 500,000 users, something like that. So you really can build something big there. And if you start, and you have plenty of tutorials telling you how to use it, and in a few weeks or months, you can really start building anything you want on internet. They have templates. So you can replicate a platform similar to Facebook or to Twitter or to, of course, all those platforms. The value of those platforms are the users, the fact that people are going there. So, but you can really, coding is not a problem anymore. And AI will be amazing too. Yeah, even if you don't speak a good English, or no problem. You use AI and you write in your own language, and you say, please translate in good English, and you can use also Grammarly to make sure that all the sentences are very well written. And there are so many tools. I mean,
this is wonderful.
AI, pictures and so on, images, and you can get,
yeah, the AI technology is going to change the world, really. So, so what were you saying about AI technology?
Yeah, AI is going to change the world, just like the engine changed the world. We are not working in the farms the way we were working 100 years ago, and thanks God, people are living better on the farms. So it's going to be, so it's going to generate new jobs, and of course, many people will have to adapt. And if you don't adapt, you will have a big problem. But young people, young generations will adapt, so there is no problem for them.
I love it. Last question. I'm going to have a little thought experiment with you and teleport you into the future.
No.
You are now 90 years old. You are sitting in your rocking chair, surrounded by your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. If I could take you into the future to have a conversation with the future you, based on how you're living your life and the changes you're making in the world, what would you say to this wise man who's led you to that point?
Have I been a good man? That's the only question I would ask myself. It's the only thing I want at the end of the day. It's be a nice person, because it's the only thing you keep with you when you leave this world. You don't go with your money. You don't go with your enemies. you
check out alone.
Yeah, you go alone, and hopefully in peace with all the loved one, and the people are going to say, well, the guy was a nice guy. Yeah,
I love that. What a beautiful way to end our interview. Etienne, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing where we can find these tools. I have your website scrolling at the bottom of the screen, manatech.com, if anybody wants to contact you, or they can find you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for your invitation. It was a pleasure. See you.
And thank you to everybody who has tuned in today. The Diversity Connector is bringing some amazing people from all over the world with knowledge and skills. So tune in again tomorrow when I interview another interesting guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. And that's a wrap, everybody, on today's episode of the Diversity Connector podcast. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our vibrant and global conversation. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a tapestry of diverse perspectives. Remember, every story you've heard today is a thread in the larger fabric of our shared humanity. So, as you step back into your world, carry these stories with you and let them inspire you to embrace and celebrate the rich diversity around us. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these inspiring stories with more listeners. Do follow us on social media by looking for the Diversity Connector podcast for more updates. Until then, keep connecting, keep listening, and keep celebrating the beauty of diversity. This is the Diversity Connector podcast signing off. Stay curious, stay open, and definitely stay connected.